Lance Armstrong won 7 Tour de France using illicit drugs. Barry Bonds broke the home run record taking steroids. The 2000 Spain gold-winning Paralympic team had 10 players that weren't disabled. Greg Williams paid his players to injure players on the other team. The Patriots deflated footballs in the AFC Championship. The Astros stole signs in the World Series, and SMU paid college football players to play for them. The list goes on in so many different sports. And it just shows how concentrated cheating is in the sports that we love. It makes it imperative that we stop it before it infiltrates the teams that we love, like our Atlanta Braves or like our Georgia Bulldogs. It is so important that we stop cheating because of the impact it has on the people that watch sports. According to the interrelation of micro-macro factors that contribute to cheating in sports from Salamasia Zaxidi, an award-winning researcher in Lithuania, cheating is often inspired by direct motivation from other cheaters. So when kids and fans alike are watching their heroes play on the biggest stage, and it turns out they're cheating, they still want to be just like them because they see the money and the power and the influence that these players are getting, and they want to be just like them. And so it inspires them to cheat. And what happens is it starts to seep into other environments, such as our little leagues, in our schools, in which cheating becomes the norm because these kids saw their heroes doing it on TV. And that's not something that we want our kids practicing in the future. And that's not something we want growing as we move forward. One of the major factors in causing cheating is a situational incentive. A situational incentive is a factor in an environment that ultimately forces a player or leads a player into cheating. According to the predictors of doping intentions in elite level athletes from the Southeast European Research Center and the Journal of Sports and Entertainment Psychology, situational incentives are the biggest factor in determining cheating. And the reason with this is because situational incentives ultimately have all other factors of cheating flow through it. If someone has a personality disorder, it's ultimately a situational incentive that's going to push a person over the edge into choosing to cheat. Two of the major situational incentives in sports today are the concentration of cheating in these sports. There are so many people either cheating or people that know about cheating and are just bystanding and watching it happen. This makes other players be inspired to cheat because they just have to keep up, just to keep up with those that are cheating, because they know that they can get away with it with so many bystanders not saying anything. Furthermore, what is to gain is often greater than what is to lose. In today's sports world, what is to gain from cheating is a championship, money, influence, and power. And what is to lose is often a small suspension or a small punishment. Or in the case of the Houston Astros, nothing at all. And so this difference in what is to gain and what is to lose inspires and incentivizes people to cheat because they have so much to gain and so little to risk. And so because of this, I propose increasing punishment across all levels of cheating to remove the situational incentive and halt cheating in its tracks. Because if we can increase punishment across not only the people that are cheating, but across the bystanders as well, then it removes the cheating culture that is in our sports today. And so today, I ask you to sign a petition that's going to be sent to all major and professional leagues across the world, begging them to increase the level of punishment for players who cheat in their league. The first and main reason for choosing punishment over any other remedy for cheating is because that punishment removes the incentive. According to the same journal from the Southeast European Research Center and Sports and Entertainment Journal, situational incentives, or once the situational incentive is removed from the picture, then players are going to be much less likely to cheat because there is no incentive for them to. So if we can make the punishment at the same level or even higher than what is to gain, then that incentive to cheat is all of a sudden gone and there's no reason for them to. And slowly, we'll start to see cheating removed from our game because people will start to do it less with less incentive. Furthermore, according to the same micro and macro factors article by Salamasia Zakaisti, cheating is cyclical. And one of those cycles, or one of the stops in this cycle, is the rationalization that the player goes through that rationalizes that it's okay to accept the consequences, that the consequences won't affect them. But if the consequences are so major that they can't help to ignore it, then we can stop that cycle in its tracks before it continues. And that way we can stop cheating before it continues to spread and infiltrate our sports as we know it. Finally, cheating, an article called Cheating in Contests from Yurje Mohan and Bert Hazari, well-known European economists. They use their economic background to form mathematical tests on the principles of cheating. They found that the harsher the punishment, the less the less there was a probability that that player was going to cheat. And so with this punishment, it clearly shows that the increase in it will greatly decrease the amount of cheating in our sports, which will ultimately help save our sports and those watching it in the future. Because it is that much important that we stop it before it does start to hurt those that we love and the teams that we love as well. This, another reason why it is so important to choose punishment over another factor or another solution is because of the quantity of players in question. According to Ira Glick and Dan Beagle in the Can You Treat Cheat in Sports from the Journal of Physician and Sports Medicine, psychological disorders and personality disorders are also a main leading factor in cheating. However, in order to solve those, you have to personally work with a player after they've cheated over time to get them rid of that personality disorder. However, this is only impacting a few players and it's impacting them after the fact. We needed a solution that's going to act across the large quantity of players that are cheating or bystanding in our sports today. And punishment allows us to do that because it sets a standard across the board in the entire league for all the players to follow. That if you do these actions or you see someone do these actions and don't report it, then these are going to be your consequences. And so it stops players from cheating before it happens rather than working with the player after to try to get them to not do it again. And it makes it that much more effective because we're not limiting the touch points, but we're touching the entire league as a whole. A great example of this is penalties in football. A penalty is thrown when a player does something that is illegal, and oftentimes there's a large consequence as a result, whether it's losing yardage or losing a down. And these penalties disincentivize players from committing these acts. They still happen every now and again, but penalties are greatly, or these crimes are greatly decreased because of the penalties. However, if a player were to commit these penalties during the game and after the game, the NFL required coaches to work with him and do a counseling session with him, then these penalties would still happen in the game, and it's only affecting this one player, and that's extremely time inefficient. So overall, as you can see, it is so important that we stop cheating in its tracks. And it's imperative that we implement punishment across the board to all levels of cheaters, from bystanders to those who are actually doing the cheating, so we can halt the cycle of cheating in its tracks. So today, I ask you to sign this petition and make the first step into stopping cheating in the world we know, to save our sports teams like our Georgia Bulldogs and our Atlanta Braves and our future family members.